Good morning, students. Welcome to the history class. Today I am going to teach you the chapter number 11, Rise of Dictatorship. This chapter has two parts. First is that fascism in Italy, and the second is that rise of Nazism in Germany. Regarding the first part, that is fascism in Italy, has already been taught. So I will teach you second part, that is the rise of Nazism in Germany. And we know that during the First World War time, Germany was ruled by King Kaiser Wilhelm II. So he was the king of Germany at that time. And after the First World War, people revolted against Kaiser William II. So he had to resign. And the people of Germany wrote a new constitution for them, and Germany became a democratic republic. And elections were held in Germany between 1990 and 1933. So during these times, elections were held, and many governments came into power in Germany. But none of these governments were not stable, because not a single party got majority in the parliament. That is why all the governments formed were coalition governments. And the parliament of Germany is known as Reichstag. So it is written here Reichstag. Reichstag means the lower house of legislature. So that is known as Reichstag. And the prime minister of Germany is known as Chancellor. So this name you have to remember. The Prime Minister of Germany is known as Chancellor. And between this long time, 1921 to 1919 to 1933 times, not a single party got majority to form a government there. And what happened is that 21 ministries were formed there, and it was headed by 12 prime ministers also. Means there was not a stable government in Germany. And now we are going to, and this government cannot find a solution to any of the people's problems. So this time witnessed the rise of Hitler to the power. So actually Hitler was an Austrian by birth, and he served in the First World War as a soldier in German army, and after that he formed a political party that is known as National Socialist Party. Means the party formed by Hitler is known as National Socialist Party, and later he became a full-time worker of this party, and the party's name was changed into Nazi Party. This Nazi Party had the Nazi Party had its own army, and the army had also two wings, and one wing is known as brown shirt. The name is very important. One wing is known as brown shirt, and their main aim is to give protection to the party members and disrupt the meeting of opposition parties. And another group is known as black shirt. So their aim is to save the party leaders. Hitler wanted to capture power in Germany, so he led a march in Berlin. Then he was arrested and imprisoned there. While he was in prison, he wrote a biography that is known as Mein Kampf. So you can see that this is the name of his autobiography, and it is also known as My Story. And fresh elections were held in Germany in 1932, but not a single party got the majority there. Then President Hindenburg invited Hitler to become the Chancellor of Germany. Then Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany. Thus the first Nazi government was formed in Germany. Then under the chancellorship of Hitler, fresh elections were held in Germany in 1933. We know that Hitler was in power. Being in power, he has done everything to influence the people. But his party did not get majority in parliament. Then, after the death of President Hindenburg, Hitler became more powerful and he assumed the power of president as well as chancellor. And he also abolished the constitution and became a dictator. We know that a dictator means the power is concentrated in the hands of one person and he was not elected by the people. Means he controlled the whole power of Germany and became an absolute dictator of Germany. Now let us see the causes of rise of Nazism. And this part has been awarded by the council this year examination, so no need for studying that. So let us move to another topic, that is the aims of Nazism. Let us see this one by one. First is that to exalt nationalism, to phrase or to think of nationalism. Second is that to advocate rule of a great leader from a single party. That is another idea of Nazi form of government. Next is that to despise internationalism, peace and democracy. Means the Nazi government never liked internationalism, peace and democracy. They advocate rule by a single leader. Next is that the use of force and brutality. So these are the another aims. Next is that to extol war, means to support war. And another last one is that to uphold the racial supremacy of Germans. So Germans think that their race is superior to other races in the world. So these are their main aims. Now let us see that impact of Nazism. So this heading has many points. I will explain this one by one. The first is that establishing a totalitarian state. Totalitarian state means ruled by a single leader and who is not elected by the people. He is also known as a dictator. That type of a government is supported by the Nazi government. They never supported opposition parties, so they banned the opposition parties in Germany. And apart from that, the role of press, media and articles everywhere completely banned in the country. No one is allowed to criticize the Nazi government. Even if his own party members say anything against his government, they were also strictly punished. Means criticism in any form is not accepted by the Nazi government under the Hitler in Germany. And apart from that, he is also appointed a secret police in order to find out one who is acting against his government in Germany. And the secret police is known as Gestapo. So this name you have to remember. And another impact is that economic reforms. And after the First World War, Germany faced a lot of financial crisis. And in order to bring the Germany once again to the proper track, he introduced 5-year plans also. And under the 5-year plan, he has done a lot for the betterment and the prosperity of the country. So let us see this one by one. The first is that factories are to be set up in order to give more employment to the people. And he believed that in order to give more employment to the people, more factories are needed. And the next is that industrial and agricultural sectors development is needed for the growth of the country. Next is that production has to increase. And next is that price control were introduced. Means if the price is increasing day by day, people are not able to purchase it. So the price of goods were also strictly monitored. Next is that capitalists were encouraged. Capitalist means one who is ready to invest in the country were supported by him. And next is that trade unions were dissolved. Trade unions were not allowed in the country. If trade unions work against the industries, they ought to work. So that is why trade unions were strictly controlled. And another impact is that compulsory military training. And he wanted that the youth should join the army, and a country's prestige is depending upon its army, and a very strong army is needed in order to win a war. So he also supported compulsory military training to the youth in the country. Now let us say that another impact, that is repudiated peace treaties. After Hitler came to power, he repudiated, or he completely refused to follow the Treaty of Versailles, which was written after the First World War by the winning countries such as Britain and USA. And according to this Versailles Treaty, Germany had to give a lot of compensation to the winning countries, and they also had to give their territories to other countries. But when Hitler came to power, he refused to follow many of these conditions because that was a shame on Germany, and Germany was completely humiliated by the winning countries. And next is that accusation of territories. When the First World War was over, according to the treaty, many territories of Germany was taken and given to neighboring countries, and Hitler wanted to get back all that territories gone from Germany to other countries, and Hitler thought that area actually needed for Germany because they have to cultivate more food grain is needed for the growing population in the country. And next is that racial supremacy. And Hitler also believed in the principles of racism, and he supported the ideas of doctrine of racism, and he believed that Germans asked the master of race to rule the country, and he believed that Germans asked the master of race to rule the country. Now I am going to explain the similarity between the causes of fascism and Nazism. Many points are here. The first is that discontent after the Treaty of Versailles. We know that the Treaty of Versailles was written after the First World War, but Germany was made to give a lot of compensation and their area to the winning countries. And another point is that economic crisis means unemployment and a decline in the production also created. Next is that fear of communism, means in Russia the communist government came into power, and in Germany also people started to believe in communism, and certain members came into the German parliament also. So they afraid the communist coming to power in Germany. Next is that political instability. So there was not a single party got a majority there, and many times a coalition government were formed. Next is that failure of League of Nations, and the League of Nations was not able to find a solution to any of the problems after the First World War. So these are the main similarities between the causes of fascism and Nazism. See, now let us discuss the similarity between ideologies of fascism and Nazism. So here a number of similarities are there. First is that you have faith in totalitarian rule, means a rule by a single leader who is not elected by the people, and the whole power is concentrated in one hand. That is known as totalitarian rule or a dictator rule. And next is known as despise democratic political system. Despise means hate, means completely reject the democratic form of government. Next is that to hold the state supremacy. That is another ideas of this type of government, means individual don't have much rights. The right of the state is supreme. Next is that you uphold one party, one leader. And last point is that to regard war as an instrument for furthering national interest, means in order to protect national interest, war is an ultimate solution. So these are the similarities between Nazism and fascism. So with this Today's class is over.